Page 50, a theme from the Polovetsian Dances. 4/4 time with one flat. So we are either in F major or D minor. Those are our choices. Those are the two keys that have one flat. You need to be doing my scale video on F major. It wouldn't hurt to do the one on D minor. Learn the scale one octave up and down. Learn the fingerings and the notes. Right hand first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. See, that's tied. 1 and 2 and 3. Don't forget the B flats. 3, 4, 1. Cross over. Play this all legato with the hand. Now let's go down to the last line on page 50. It's the same thing here. 2, 3, 4, 1. D flat. Second finger now. 2, 3. All these, the E flat, D flat. Lots of flats. You're back to the melody you had at first. Let's go down to the third line. You're down here. You've had this before. Now that last measure, it's 1, lift up. You can come over. Don't forget the B flat. Lots of ledger lines to read. And you should know all of those notes down there. On those ledger lines, you need to get to where you just instantly know what those notes are. Now that's notes in F. Left hand. Here, don't forget the B flat. And then here, it's a B flat, C, E. And then an A. That's wonderful. They're saying for the second line, a here. You can also do a here, this way. 3, a 4, 3, 2, if you want. For the last line, a D flat. That'll be fun. Here. Figure out these chords so you can play them, get all the notes down at the same time. Top of page 51, you can do a 5, 4, 2 if you want, that's fine. That puts you in position to go on. Work out the chords, then put them together slowly. 3, 4, 1 and 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. So you take the time you need to take to be able to change the chords in the left hand, because you're moving around to here. You can't connect the chords with the hands. Do the best you can, connect them as best you can. But take whatever time you need to get down to where you're at to stay in sync with the right hand. So it's in the second line here, you're here. You got to come down to here. Well, take as long as you need to take, but be there. Don't take any longer than that. So fourth, you work it out with both hands together. Go back and add the articulation, the slurring in the right hand. The left hand, keep it as legato as you can throughout. It's the right hand. Here in the lift up. See there in the last measure, the first line, lift up. So each of these slurs here lift up. However, when you get to the end of the second line here, don't measure. And you're going to repeat or go on, it doesn't matter. This to me leads to what comes afterward. And I call it a lead in. It leads into what's coming after. To here. And when that happens, I don't disconnect, I connect it. It's got to flow right into it. To here. So whether I repeat or not, I'm going to connect that A to the next note in the right hand. I consider it unmusical to go and separate that like that. connect that. So that to me is a convenient slur, but it should go across the bar line. So do the slurs in the right hand, and then we can add the dynamics. Moderately soft, that's the right hand. Keep the left hand soft. Then you're coming down, you got to decrescendo to soft, then go back up to moderately soft. Now if you go on, you go up to moderately loud. Lift up. That sounds wrong. The last measure on page 50. But that's what's written. I mean, it's his fault, not mine. He wrote it. But you're crescendoing up to a loud, get loud. And again, at the last measure on page 50. I would not disconnect this from what comes. I would connect it. Take here. Connect all that together. Don't. Connect it together. See, now here they're telling you to connect it. The slur goes off here. And you've come back down to a medium loud there. The climax was at the top of page 51. That's the most exciting part. Then you're gradually getting softer and softer and softer until the bottom, the last line. You're down here. You're soft here. Sort of soft. And now you're going to go all the way down to a very soft, and you're going to slow down also. Here, and then very soft. That has an 8VA under it. We're going to go all the way down here. If your keyboard's long enough. If it isn't, just play the lowest A you have and leave it at that. And then that's fermata. You're going to hang on to that and just let the sound die away. I'll come back to this in a minute, and then it's over, I hope. Now, we need to connect this, and we'd like to add some overtones. They don't have any pedaling marked. They did the cheap way out. I hate it when method books do that, but they did it, so we'll deal with it. And that is, they put a note at the bottom saying pedal as you wish. It should be pedal as your teacher tells you to pedal at them. Basically, you're going to keep a legato pedal, and you're going to change it with each harmony, but don't let it get blurry. If it gets blurry, you got to change the pedal, and it'd be nice to hear some of the phrasing. So let's talk about the pedal. There's no right or wrong way in pedaling a piece. It's up to you and your ears and what you like to hear. But I'll give you some suggestions. We want to keep the pedaling fairly simple. I don't want to get it too complicated here, but we don't want it to get mushy. We like to have the overtones when we can have them, especially in the really loud and exciting parts. But otherwise, we don't want to mess up the eighth notes. So in the first measure, I'm going to pedal the whole measure. I'm going to change it after I play the notes in the next measure. And I'm going to pedal the 2 beats in the next. Change it here, and then change it. And now the third measure, I'm not pedaling the first beat. Here, I'm not putting it down until I don't want to mess up. I don't want that. So it's then push it and then change it. Actually here, I don't pedal that measure until maybe the end of it, because I don't want to mess this up. I don't want all that. So maybe I just pedal the last beat. And the only reason I'm pedaling that is I want to connect the left hand to here. I need the pedal for that. So I'm going to push the pedal down at the end of that measure so I can connect the left hand. Otherwise, I wouldn't need to pedal it at all. And here, change it. And again, I don't pedal these eighth notes. And I don't pedal that measure, the last measure, second line. I don't need it. And then when whatever you do. Then the last line on page 50, again, I'm basically pedaling it the same way as I did above when I have the same pattern in the right hand. Whatever I did up there, I'm doing here too. So it's the first measure, the whole measure, then change it every 2 beats. Then I don't pedal the 8th notes. And I don't pedal this. Now here, we're getting exciting. Now we can get a little blurry. Change it. And change it. Again, I don't pedal the first 2 beats. The first 2 notes. And I don't pedal this measure. End, I let the hands, I lift the keys up, keep the hands on the keys, and then slowly lift the pedal and let the sound just die away at the end. It's my impression of the pedal. You'll have to decide for yourself, experiment with the sounds you're getting, and when you want to pedal, don't make it overly complicated. But don't pedal unless you absolutely need it. People will just sit down and they're not really listening, they just automatically pedal everything. They know to change the pedal on the harmony, they've been taught that, and that's basically all they do. They're not really listening to the sound. Again, this is one of the reasons we learn a piece first without the pedal. So when you add the pedal, you're well aware of it, and if you start forgetting, well, what's going on here? Go back and play that part of it without pedal again so you can hear it, and then check and see the effect the pedal is having on what you're doing. I would like to play it with you slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'll try and pedal it as I described. I'm not going to do any dynamics, and I can't slow down at the end, but we'll just go through. I'll give us 4 counts. If you want to play along, at least with the right hand or whatever, try that. 1, 2, ready, go. 4 and 1 and 3, 4. 4. Repeat. 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. 4. 4. 3, 4. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, off.